The White Battle of the Atlantic, 1939 to 1945, was the longest and one of the most crucial campaigns of World War II, fought between the Allies and Axis powers for control of the Atlantic sea routes. Now, imagine replacing the actual participants with Smurfs and Gargamel. Overview. The Smurfs version of the Battle of the Atlantic began with Smurf Allies, led by Papa Smurf, fighting against Gargamel Axis, who was determined to disrupt their sea routes and capture their precious supplies. Gargamel, assisted by his evil cat Azrael, was on a mission to prevent the Smurfs from receiving food, potions, and other resources essential for their survival. The battle wasn't just a clash of power, but also a contest of wits, technology, and endurance. Both sides had advanced Smurf technology. On one side, Smurfs had developed tiny magical submarines, while on the other, Gargamel's forces had invented fearsome potions that allowed him to summon sea monsters to harass Smurf supply lines. Gargamel's strategy. Gargamel, always scheming, deployed his potion-enhanced Gargamel U-boats to sneak up on Smurf convoys. These were magical submarines that could hide in seaweed forests, waiting to ambush the unsuspecting Smurf ships. His goal was to cut off supplies to Smurf Village, weakening their defenses and forcing them to surrender. With Azrael by his side, Gargamel unleashed a relentless campaign to starve the Smurfs by sinking as many supply ships as possible. He also summoned mystical storms, hoping to make the ocean an even more dangerous place for Smurf convoys. He believed that by wearing them down, he would finally capture Smurf Village and achieve victory. Smurf Allies' defense. However, the Smurfs were not easily defeated. Under the wise leadership of Papa Smurf, they formed a strong coalition of friendly Smurf nations across the globe, all committed to keeping the sea lanes open. Smurf engineers and wizards developed special magical devices to detect and counter Gargamel's U-boats. These devices, known as Smurf detectors, helped them locate hidden enemy submarines. Meanwhile, Smurfette led a fleet of supply ships that braved the dangers of the ocean. These convoys, often accompanied by brave Smurf warriors, sailed day and night, constantly on alert for Gargamel's potions, sea monsters, and magical traps. Together with brainy Smurf, they devised clever counter-strategies, including invisible Smurf shields and secret sea routes, making it harder for Gargamel to locate their ships. Turning the tide. As the battle raged on, the tide began to turn in favor of the Smurfs. They improved their convoy systems and deployed faster and more advanced Smurf ships. They also began cracking Gargamel's magical codes, allowing them to anticipate his movements and avoid his deadly traps. One pivotal moment came when Papa Smurf, using a secret spell, temporarily turned the tide of the ocean itself, scattering Gargamel's U-boats and giving the Smurfs a decisive advantage. With these successes, the Smurf convoys started to reach their destination more regularly, and the Smurf village was resupplied with much-needed food and magical supplies. Gargamel's decline. Despite his best efforts, Gargamel's campaign began to falter. His potions were running low, and the Smurf convoys became more resilient. Smurfette and her fleet grew more daring, and their defense tactics became almost impossible for Gargamel to overcome. In the final phase of the battle, Gargamel's forces suffered heavy losses. His last attempt at victory involved summoning a massive sea monster, but the Smurfs, with their superior teamwork and magical knowledge, managed to neutralize it. With his plans in ruins, Gargamel was forced to retreat, and the Smurf convoys sailed freely once again. Aftermath. By the end of the Battle of the Atlantic, the Smurfs had secured their vital supply lines, and ensured the survival of Smurf Village. The battle had taken a toll on both sides, but in the end, it was the courage, ingenuity, and persistence of the Smurf Allies that prevailed. In this whimsical version, the Battle of the Atlantic serves as an epic struggle between good and evil, with the Smurfs standing strong against Gargamel's relentless attacks, much like the real struggle for control of the sea during World War II.